Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube page, where I'm continuing my college bowl previews and predictions. I'll be previewing all 35 college bowl games right here on my YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe to my page to get all of my videos delivered directly to your inbox. Up next is the Little Caesars Bowl, pitting the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers versus the Central Michigan Chippewas. Central Michigan out of the MAC comes in with a record of 6-6, while Western Kentucky out of the Sun Belt Conference comes in with a record of 7-5. First, Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky, led by junior running back Antonio Andrews, over 200 yards in his last two games versus Louisiana Lafayette and North Texas. Louisiana Lafayette, also out of the Sun Belt, is a team that we saw be very impressive in their bowl win so far. So I think that makes that 238 yards he rushed for against that team even more impressive. The Western Kentucky program as a whole is going through a coaching change. Willie Taggart has left Western Kentucky and took the University of South Florida job. The new coach at Western Kentucky will be Bobby Petrino. Western Kentucky will be coached by their defensive coordinator here in the bowl game. Petrino will take over afterwards. There's differing opinions as far as how a coaching change can affect a program going forward. I think at these mid-major, mid-level schools, I think these players sort of know if they have success that the school they're at is probably not a destination job and it could lead to their coach going elsewhere. So I think very rarely do coaches leave on bad terms, leaving these kind of programs. So I think that Taggart leaving, first of all, shows that the program has been successful for another program from the Big East, in this case, to even want Taggart to be their coach. And also I look at it being a positive from the fact that, Bobby Petrino comes in. He's a guy who obviously, maybe not from a moral point of view, the best guy in the world, but wherever he's gone on the college level, he's won, whether it's been at Louisville, most recently at Arkansas. So I think there's going to be the natural attitude from these players of Western Kentucky to try to impress Petrino, to try to show Petrino, like, look, you're coming in, you're a new coach, this is how I can fit in to your program that you're going to implement here. So I look for the Western Kentucky players to be motivated from that point of view. Also, taking a look at their schedule, they played Louisiana Lafayette to a close game and a loss. Okay, they beat Kentucky earlier in the season as well, which I think is a very good win. They also beat Arkansas State in another conference game, which I think is a positive win as well. So again, close loss to Louisiana Lafayette, a win over an SEC school in Kentucky, and a win again over Arkansas State, the eventual Sun Belt champs. So I look at that as being all positives for Western Kentucky. They have a high-powered offense, as a lot of these mid-level schools do, but their defense is a little bit more above average than some of the defenses you'll see in these conferences. And again, early in these bowl games, early on here, in the first 6 or 7 bowl games, we've seen teams with good defenses or better defenses sort of come to the forefront and play well. And I look for Western Kentucky going up to Detroit. The Little Caesars Bowl is in Detroit, so Central Michigan will definitely have a home field advantage, whatever that's worth in bowl games. There's differing opinions on that as well. Louisiana Lafayette plays in New Orleans, plays well, but then you have San Diego State, who plays in San Diego and doesn't play as well. So I don't really look too much into that as far as the home field advantage goes, but I think Western Kentucky will respond well, can control the game on the ground, obviously, with Andrews, and I think that'll serve them well in this game. As far as Central Michigan goes, Central Michigan's an interesting team. They're a team that was at one point 3-6 this season. In a matter of 13 days, they've won 3 games in a row to get themselves bowl eligible. I give them a lot of credit for that, first and foremost. I mean, 3-6 college football teams sometimes will pack it in, but they showed a lot of fight in the MAC to kind of get back to that 6-6 mark. What concerns me a little bit about Central Michigan is they've had some pretty big blowout losses, most notably to Navy, to Toledo, and to Northern Illinois. I know those 3 teams are not slouches, but they're big conference games in the MAC that they just got completely blown out in. And those teams also feature good rushing attacks like Western Kentucky does. So I'm a little bit worried about Central Michigan from that perspective. heading forward here. Again, they do have a little bit of a home field advantage. They've played in this bowl game before. It was under a different name, I believe, back then, but they played in this bowl game before. Again, a 6-6 team. I think they'll come in motivated because, hey, who thought who thought they'd be in a bowl game as of a month ago? Who thought they would even have the possibility to play in the Little Caesars Bowl? But Central Michigan, again, gives up over 33 points a game on defense. They've let up a ton of yards, both through the air and on the ground. And I just look for Western Kentucky to be a pretty bad matchup for Central Michigan in particular. You have right now Western Kentucky installed as 5.5-point favorites. I think they would be installed as even more of a favorite. I think the fact that they're going through a coaching change and the fact that the game is being played in Central Michigan's backyard, I think both contribute to this spread not being even 9 or 10 in Western Kentucky's favor. So I like Western Kentucky here, minus the 5.5 in the Little Caesars Bowl to beat Central Michigan and then start the Bobby Petrino era down there in Hilltopper country. So again, Western Kentucky minus the 5.5. This is a pick. I think Andrews is going to go run wild, and I think their defense is going to certainly do enough to stop Central Michigan. Western Kentucky minus 5.5. Let me know what you guys think of this pick here on my YouTube comments. Hit me up on Twitter at SNewsAnalysis. And as always, guys, subscribe to my page and you get all my videos delivered directly to your inbox. Thank you.